All right. I think we are finally live. We're actually live. I hope the people on the other side can actually hear us.
Did you want to tweet out the link? Did you
I
tweet
did.
it
Yeah, I just tweeted it out a little while. I tweeted through my account though, so if you want to tweet it through the
You're
main,
a glory
go for it.
hoe. You're a glory hoe.
That's what I thought
and
of.
the biggest glory hoe thing here.
That's what I could get to as of right this second. So that's what I wanted to do. You gonna tweet it out through the main?
Yeah, I'll tweet it out. Dude, I was in a meeting, so I didn't know that it happened until I just read it, and I was like already putting out another fire. And I was like, "Oh, wait, what?" And then walked upstairs and said to the wife, was like, "They just fired Kenny Williams and Rick Hahn." And she goes, "Oh my god!"
Yes.
I haven't we'll wait till some people get in before we start shooting the shit. But do you have any like you experienced it real time? Are you seeing anything else out there other than that we saw from the tweet from the White Sox or no?
The only other thing I saw, someone pushed out that Bob Nightingale said that for now Pedro Grifol is safe, but I think that's just literally
oh man.
Wait till we hire the next person. They're going to decide. Yeah, he's going to be gone as soon as that happens. Man. You know, like
the fuck he is.
We'll let a few more people hop in here before we really get going on this. Stephen Byro, thank you for the drink, my friend. My Sox Center's not drinking because he has heartburn. He thinks he's going to die over there. That's how excited he is about this shit. You're so excited about this, but cheers. Thank you, my friend.
No, I've been having it since like 2:00, and I didn't have I just got some Zantac, so I took that, and it's feeling better, like enough to make me think, okay, you're probably not having a heart attack grabber at 46 years old. So
probably not.
I feel like if I was having a heart attack, it would have happened yesterday, like in minute 15 or 17 on this treadmill or on the Stairmaster.
Yeah.
Like going straight up. Like that's when I probably would have died.
Not today when you want to yell at your kids. Not
when I was just chilling. Not when I was just chilling. No, I was been very chill today. Like I've been doing the edibles, man. I've been very chill. Been very chill.
Rory says, time to bust out the horny meter. No kidding. Yeah, it is time. And then Maddie Mitt says, let me be the first to actually say thank you, Kenny and Rick. They're getting a lot of shit and deservedly so, but not all was horrible. But it was definitely time. Well, we'll get to that in a second. So, yeah, the big news of the day, and I was shocked, my Sox summer. As you mentioned, I was experiencing it real time because I was eating dinner. I put my phone down. It seems like all the wild shit happens when I actually put my phone down and I'm not on it, like the Tim Anderson fight. I pick up the phone, and I scroll to one of the DMs I'm part of, and they have that in there. Like they have the tweet from the White Sox, and I'm going to read it to you right now. It says, the Chicago White Sox announced that Ken Williams, Executive Vice President, and Rick Hahn, Senior Vice President, General Manager, have been relieved of the responsibilities effective immediately. This is in quotes. This is an incredibly difficult decision for me to make because they are both talented individuals with long-term relationships at the White Sox, said Jerry Reinsdorf, White Sox chairman. Ken is like a son to me, and I will always consider him a member of the family. I want to personally thank Ken and Rick for all they've done for the Chicago White Sox, winning the 2005 World Series and reaching the postseason multiple times during their 10 years. I have nothing but great respect for them as people and appreciate the commitment and passion to the White Sox they've exhibited over the years. Ultimately, the well-worn cliche that professional sports is results-oriented is correct, Reinsdorf said. While we have enjoyed successes as an organization and we're optimistic heading into the competitive window of this rebuild, this year has proven to be very disappointing for us all on many levels. This has led me to the conclusion that the best decision for the organization moving forward is to make a change in our baseball department leadership. The White Sox will begin a search for a single decision maker to lead the baseball operations department and anticipate having an individual in place by the end of the season. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, my Sox summer. When I read that, my eyes welled up. I will not lie. My eyes welled up with tears. I was so fucking happy. I was like, it's finally happening. I can't fucking believe this is happening. And Teresi called it before the year. He like right at the beginning of the year, like in late April, he wrote that blog. Like he kind of saw the pieces. He's like, yeah, Rick Hahn spent all of Jerry's money and shit's hitting the fan. He might be out of here, you know? And so like, I'm overwhelmed right now with the initial joy of just like, we needed to have this happen. It's almost like a bad breakup. You're in a relationship, you're going with a girl for too long. And I remember one of my first girlfriends, it was bad for a long time. And she finally broke up with me. And I was sad for about 3 seconds. And I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I can't believe this good shit happened to me. Right? That's what it feels like to me. How about you?
Oh, I remember getting broken up with many. getting broken up many a times, and then going, hey, this was that was really sad, but I'm very happy now. Like, so initially you're seeing this and you're like, okay, this is awesome, right? Like there's accountability. I mean, it's not awesome because I don't think Rick Hahn like tried to put together a loser. I don't think that Kenny Williams was actively trying to suck, but they've had enough now here with the bad on the field and publicly like being embarrassed. I guess I'm not embarrassed as a Sox fan. Like I don't take it that personally.
Right,
like a lot of people have said that, they're like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed, or we're a laughing stock. I don't give two fucks. Okay,
I'm with you on that completely. Actually,
I got my own things. I'll worry about my own self. I don't need to. Don't worry about this guy. But so like for them to like there finally to be some accountability. You're like, okay, great. They have finally taken the step. The first step, and that is like, I'm not going to be totally loyal to people that like have not done the job. Like the job isn't getting done, so we need to get rid of these people. That's awesome. That's a great first step. And so these guys being gone, that obviously that excites me. Now,
yeah, of course.
What my brain goes to, because I'm a skeptical Sox fan, is like they have a very good marketing and PR department. They know how to spin things. Remember how great everyone felt when Pedro Grifol got hired? And everyone was like, hey, yeah, it's like he's saying all the right. We're going to kick
Well, not me. I was skeptical of him. I was skeptical immediately.
You were. But what I'm saying is, and what I'm saying is that, like, this is all fluff. And, when they fired Rick Renneria, my guy, he's back there. I got him hanging up back there. They fired him, and we're like, okay, well, now we're going to get the guy. We're going to go out and get who we want, right? And we're going to have the best manager out there with the best talent. And then they hired Tony La Russa. So, like, listen. I mean,
don't you kill my buzz. Fuck you, my Sox summer. Fuck you for even mentioning this. I should kick you out of this stream right now. You're killing my buzz right now. No, I disagree with you completely. And here's why. No, you don't need to, because these are a bottom 1 or 2 front office in baseball. They could get almost anyone qualified for this job, throw them in there, and they're going to instantly be better as far as like have a better outlook, a different outlook. These guys were tired and old, and they just didn't get it done. Like, there was nothing new, nothing interesting about the way they put a team together. There was never anything like, well, they got a good angle with doing this. None of that shit. So, like, I'm optimistic, and I don't even need to know who the hire is. I know that the next hire will be better than this one, at least at a minimum. It'll have different ideas than this one and go into a path that's going to improve this team. Let's get to some drinks.
Yeah.
First off, Schless Pappy says, cheers to MSS's health. That's right.
Thanks.
Yeah, he was drinking bourbon. Now he's drinking nothing because he might be dying of a heart attack in front of us.
I don't think that's the case. I really hope that's not the case.
I hope you don't die on the stream. Jackie says, drinks on me, fellas. Thank you. Appreciate you, Jackie.
Thank
Bless
you.
your heart.
Hey, I'm in the middle of a show, bud. I love you. You gotta, like, shake it out of here. Get out of here.
Terry's Peeps, longtime guy. Salute. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. Baloney, I'm hard. Me too, Baloney. Well, not completely. I was chubbed up. I'm not lesser chub right now.
This is
Billy Wire says, let's enjoy this until Jerry shows gets down our throats. You see, you and my Sox summer. I'm going to kick both of you out of here in a second.
I'm just telling you, that's something that is a very
Jared says, MSS is right. They'll find a way to mess this up probably. No, they're not gonna.
So
guarantee from yours truly, the Beefo.
I appreciate you doing double drinks for everybody. That's really good. You should actually do triple. Oh, here comes the clout chasing brother of yours. This is coming in.
We need to get Teresa in here.
So, like, we got Matty Mitch. Let's talk about Matty Mitch's comment after we get the original Teresi discussion here. Let's bring him in and let him talk.
First, let's let him talk, because he should get some of this shine right here. He should.
I added him to this.
Don't add him. Let him add himself. We can all add ourselves.
No, I want him to.
Kick me out.
I'm gonna kick him out. I'm gonna get him out of there.
What a dick.
Let's see. You go ahead and get yourself in when you're
ready.
Put
him back in, man.
Oh, okay.
Stick it back in. He's
go.
Ready, right? No, he's not ready.
Stop kicking me out.
I'm going to kick MSS out completely. Yes, we can hear you great. Yeah.
Okay, my headphones are all fucked up, but we'll give it a go.
Wonderful, great.
I don't know what happened. I left town, and now my headphones don't work as well.
No, they don't work. Did you hear
Maybe
that?
it's my ears. You never know.
Could be.
Barely.
So Tracy, how you feeling, man? You basically predicted Rick
look
Hahn getting
good.
fired. You know.
Well, I feel good. I feel good right now, and I'm walking out of work, right? I was just in a bunch of meetings, so I haven't looked at anything, and I get a message from someone at work, and this will tell you, this is not a Sox fan. This will tell you how much people understand the plight of the Sox fan at this point. I just get an email or a message in our chat that just says, "Congrats on Rick and Kenny." I have no idea what this is in regards to. So I look at my phone and I'm like, oh shit, okay. And it's funny that someone would tell you congrats on something like that. But yeah, everybody knows how fucked up it's been for Sox fans.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And Tracy, you saw the writing on the wall with Rick Hahn. Back in April, you wrote a blog, and I just put it back out there on the from the 108 Twitter. Go a little bit in detail how you saw kind of some of this coming, even before we got to the point where rats are running across the section and everything's falling apart in the ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, well, so when I was objectively looking at this, right? I think that something that like people always say is Jerry's cheap, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And we've had Rick Hahn here for a while, but the past 2 years he's spent, right? The money will be spent, the whole thing. The money is being spent, right? Like there's $370 million, I think, over the past 2 years. Now, they just made him give some back because they said, or over the past 2 years, sorry. They made him give some back because they're like, hey, this team sucks. Go trade these guys off because we don't want to pay them anymore, which is now really what we're seeing, right?
Yep.
But then the other thing that people say about him is that he's like so loyal, right? And like you think about it, like, okay, who's he loyal to then? Like his best friends? Like the guy that you just ran out of town and then still sucked?
Right.
Right? Like, so
Exactly.
there's part of me that's like recently, Jerry probably hanging out with TLR, and TLR's like, and he's like, hey, Tony, anything I could do for you, anything I could do to help. Because, he's looking bad. He's in rough
shape.
Not feeling
Yeah.
well.
Very
and he was
rough.
like, fire those two sons of bitches. That'll make me feel at least a little bit better.
Fire them and let my legacy carry on.
Well, it's funny.
Wasn't my fault.
We don't often put things on here that we hear from people or whatever. But I remember Mr. Hahn went to the Hall of Fame thing, and he said that Jerry was really huddled up with his baseball guys, his baseball buddies, like at dinner and everything, and they were together kind of thick as thieves. And so he was like, also with you, Teresa, kind of like after that, which was in July, like, something might be going on. There's some whispers here or whatever the fuck. But who the fuck knew that all this shit was going to pop up? And right now, I love that they just bombed it right now and said, fuck it. We made a decision out of here. Like, I love that.
They didn't even wait for the
makes
embarrassing
me
weekend
nervous,
that
though,
was
too,
definitely going to
right?
happen
Like-
with the Athletics. They didn't even wait till after
Like
you just get blanked by the A's.
He's
Sorry.
all huddled up with his guys, right? But like, I don't want one of those guys to be the GM either. Like that's the other thing that I'm worried about is like
That's my whole point.
I don't want to
My
see like
Sox
Dave
summer.
Stewart waltzing in like, hey, I'm going to be your GM now.
My sucks are I will slap the shit out of you. I will slap the shit out of you. You don't you're killing my buzz right now, you asshole.
I'll take a smack in the face with one of your noodle arms any day. All right? Bring it on, bitch.
I'll nose you
Yeah,
right in the
you're
eye.
little
How about that? I'll nose you in the eye.
'cause
Let's get to some drinks here.
It's because you lifted a couple kettlebells 2 days in a row.
Bro,
Don't make me
I'm
fucking
so out
Arnold
of shape.
Schwarzenegger,
I'm,
all right?
I'm terribly out of shape. Let's
it
get to some drinks. Stephen Barrow says Chris Getz sees Stephen Barrow. I'm gonna kick your ass too. Chi-Town Dale says hope to hear from outside like Theo Epstein.
Oh
Bless
my
your heart.
God. I mean, we like stealing other people's ideas. So
Joey P says this is glorious. Thank you, Joey P. Jared says the real hero is welcome back, Treasy. So that is the real hero.
it is pretty much. It's awesome.
Aloha, Mr. Hand dropped a 50. We're not going to let you talk for 5 minutes because all you're going to talk about is downer neckhead bullshit.
I can't do it.
Summer.
No,
Thank you,
I'm
Mr. Hand.
positive. I'm positive to a certain extent, but like, yeah, there's a very real negative side.
Little Yumper, here's 2 tree
Hospital.
Modelos for you guys. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate that. So I was telling my Sox Summer Treasy when we got on here. I read that when I'm eating dinner because I happened to pick my phone back up and it was in one of the chats, and my eyes welled up. I was so joyful. I was about to have tears with the amount of joy I was that these 2 assholes were gone because To me, this has long been the impediment. And we told Eddie Barstool at that event, and he was shocked that we're like, it's the front office. We're you know, yeah, Jerry, but the front office is fucking everything up. And he couldn't believe it because he's like, oh, everyone's Jerry. And I'm, like you said, I'm glad Jerry got something behind his 87-year-old ass and was like, fuck these guys. I'm not done.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this over, man. I love it.
Maybe he's just tired of hearing all this people. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Treasy.
I was just going to say, it's really, like, yeah, I got in my car and I'm, like, driving home just kind of thinking about it. And, you know, we'll get into in the coming days, weeks, months, what's next for the Sox. But we just heard that there's 2 years left on Grafal's contract. There's 1 year left on Rick's. So, like, this is a distinct move away from the, okay, we'll just let Robin Ventura run out the time, right? Like, we'll just run out the clock on this guy. And then, I mean, because they were saying things that, like, I mean, I was honestly going to name the podcast on Thursday night, Rick Hahn contemplates firing Rick Hahn. Right? Because, like, that's the way that they presented it. And so, like, you were really worried that this was just going to be like, okay, I know I got 1 year left on his contract, so we're just going to ride it out. We're going to be bad next year anyways. We're just going to see how it folds. I like that they just drew a line in the sand and said, nah, get out of here. And, like, I want to find out that it was, like, Rick Hahn leaked the story to Cranes, and we said, get the fuck out of here now. That was the final last straw. That was like, everything else he did was fine until that, and then they're like, whoa, you can't be talking about this kind of stuff.
Now, it's something important to remember here with the tweet that I read, with the press release. They're looking for a person to run all the baseball. So if they're going president of baseball operations, every GM is in play. They could be after absolutely anyone that has a GM title. The president of baseball operations title is guys too, but they would need to offer them kind of a little something extra, a little teaser to get them out of there. So don't think small. You don't have to think small here. You can think large. It doesn't mean Jerry will actually hire any of these people, but the pool is enormous. It is every GM that you could possibly think of that's out there, even ones that are out of work. And if he is really pissed off about this and really wants to put his best foot forward and wants the highest valuation for his franchise before he fucking sells it, I would guess it might be someone actually good.
Well, see,
I mean, you say that, but then you also are like, we're going to go out and we're going to find the best manager to match with this talent. And we're like, we're going to get the bench coach from the Kansas City Royals. So I don't know exactly.
He let Hahn make that choice. When he made the choice, who did he choose? He chose the guy who he thought was the best guy. So not the guy's over the hill, but the guy was one of the best guys, right? Okay. So minor error there.
Now Jerry's now Jerry's like, now he's making decisions again.
I assume someone is working with him, or multiple people are probably working with him and in his ear on who to go after. But I mean, the pool is enormous. We'll see.
Yeah, it's big. Like the one in McKinley. What are we going to say, Cherezy?
No, I was just going to say that, you know, like, I think when you think about the opportunity here, right? The opportunity to be in a city this big, an opportunity, and like, it sounds laughable, right? But like, you know, being in the top half of the payrolls in the MLB, which the Sox are, you know, and then they were in the top 10 last year, to a GM that's floundering in some shitty place, making the best of like getting a $60-70 million payroll, becoming the president of a baseball organization is a very attractive job. And in a huge city like Chicago, it's even more attractive. And if the idea is, hey, we're building up this brand to sell, you know, like you're thinking about like people that go to work for like startups and things where it's like, hey, we want to build this to a point where we could sell or IPO. Like that's an exciting job to run a company like that. And so like I think that there's tons of people who would just jump at the opportunity. So I'm with Beef that the pool is large, and the opportunity itself is so big that it's not like you necessarily need to like outbid the rest of the presidents of these teams, because these are so rare of an occurrence to come up and to be available that like you are. Talk about a buyer's market. That is a buyer's market.
For sure.
So like that's why it's exciting. Like when I was thinking, hey, they're going to fire Hahn, I thought Kenny was still going to stay. So I'll just be totally honest. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought Kenny at the end of the day would be able to run out his contract or stay in his position. The fact that you eliminated them both and are now taking a whole new perspective on your baseball operations is huge. And now, MSS, they could totally fuck it up. They could promote Eddie from downstairs who's working in the mailroom all the way up, and I'm talking about Chris Getz.
Ladies and gentlemen, your new special assistant to the GM, Mike Downey.
Man, no need to shoot across the bow there, man. That's not nice of you.
Let's
get to a drink here. Matty Mitch says it took the front office to get fired for me to dip back into the podcast YouTube streets. Thanks for going live, fellas.
Welcome
Appreciate
back,
you, Matty Mitch. Good to see you, my friend. We've been missing you from the comments. Come and make fun of us on Thursday.
You know what? I'm going to pretend. I'm going to pretend that it was my return that brought Matty Mitch back. I don't care what the comments.
So pretty. You're so pretty.
So yeah, I can't wait to start digging in. I'll probably do it tonight after the game. I'll because we're gonna go over there, Treasy. I might start digging into who are the GMs out there that I might be interested in. Who are the people that could fill this spot, and then who's gonna be the president of baseball operations? Who could slide in as their choice as GM? Like, start dreaming, because now we have a chance to dream on something different. It's not gonna be the same old tired ass regime.
Beef, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would also start digging into this tonight. But Ahsoka premieres tonight, so I got other things planned for after the game.
Dang. I'm surprised you're able to show up for 15 minutes here and talk to us.
It's not on till late. It's not on till late.
Okay. So Jared posted something. Our guy Jared. Sorry to interrupt your nerd talk.
Oh yeah.
Teresa.
Oh, you're good.
But Jared posted this, and I think this is a very interesting thing. And it says, "At Aloha, guess I'll be renewing." So now Jared is back in the fold because they've shown some accountability. If I am the White Sox ticket people that have been being crapped on this entire season, every single person that has sent back an email response that says, I am not renewing my tickets until Kenny and Rick are gone, they should be in that guy's mailbox right now and saying, all right, sucker, I got you down for a 40 game, I got you down for a full season, I got you down for whatever, because you said you weren't going to come back until you got rid of these guys. White Sox fans that said we're gonna support you if you show some accountability here. It's on your backs now to go back and get some season tickets.
MSS. I kind of love your idea, but I don't want emails. I want Sox
phone
ticket
calls?
reps sliding into DMs. Like 2:00 tonight. Yo, you up? I saw you wanted some tickets.
I heard you were not going to renew as long as Kenny was GM. Well, guess what, biatch? Kenny ain't the GM no more.
Hey, yo, I just broke up with Kenny and Rick. What are you doing tonight?
How about I get
let's get to some of these drinks. Jared again says the pool is large, but I still don't trust that Jerry will pick the right person. God, I hope you are right that it's not Getz or someone like that. Too. I think the key is it really Jerry, or will it be some people around him? And hopefully it won't be Dave Stewart. So cheers.
Jesus Christ.
And Matty Mitch confirms it was me. Yes. Thank you, Matty. I love
my God.
I love it. Cheers, my friend.
Matty. Dude, I might have to stick it out tonight and just see what happens. Maybe I will have a grabber in the section. It's going to be a fun night to be at the park, to be honest.
Comment from Billy real quick. I won't be renewing unless there's less White Sox podcasts. I can guarantee that this firing created 14 to 15 podcasts, and we'll possibly rename the Sons of Hanarchy.
I was going to say they're going to rebrand, right?
There's going to be so many tweets. We decided to dust off the mics so we haven't podcasted in 6 months. We're going to tell you our thoughts on this firing.
This momentous moment has finally got me out of the funk, and we will be recording for the first time in 14 months. And I'm not talking about Sons of Anarchy. I know they recorded probably 10 weeks ago, but the other ones are 14 months.
We are back, like the Jordan facts.
Back like 45. Man,
God damn it, man! I'm just so thrilled right now. I'm just floating on air because there was nothing to look forward to in this season. My fucking Twitter feed was people arguing about how much Lenine Sosa should play. That's not something to look forward to, okay? No offense to Lenine, and yes, I would like him to get out there and get some bats. I don't give a fuck, all right? This is some shit to give a fuck about and to be interested in, to be fucking excited about. I just can't. I can't stay still, you know.
It's exciting, but it's also I felt like it's exciting as the beginning of the rebuild. it feels like it's fresh blood. You're like, okay, they're doing something they've never done before, technically. They've never really stripped it down to the studs and then started hanging new drywall, and they're really, really stripped it down to the studs now. And it's exciting, but it's also like, shit, I just hope they've learned a lesson. I hope they learned a lesson.
Let me ask you guys something here. Do you think the impetus of this was Jerry, or do you think there was some other force pushing Jerry in on this? Because I'm just curious. I know he's still the owner, still the chairman, but I'm wondering, like, I know we had heard from people, that the chairman was frustrated. He wasn't even watching the games. He'd come to the ballpark, but he'd leave before the fucking game started because the team sucked so bad. Do you think it's all that frustration, or you think someone behind him or someone else is maybe pushing him, or what?
I think there's probably a few things, and I'm going to say something that I think is insane but possible. So Kenny, I think, judging by his comments, I think it was last year, about how long he was going to stick around. It seemed like he was going to be done after this year, right? And like it was going to be a decision if he stays or not. So I think that plays into it a little bit. Like maybe this was Kenny's last year. But the other thing is that like Rick Hahn's contract, as we just found out, was going to be up at the end of next year. Yeah. I could see Rick Hahn, and this sounds insane, but I think it plays to like,
yeah, she heard you.
His lack of self-awareness is that like he could have been in there like, I'm not going to be a lame duck GM next year. Like I want to talk contract extension and force the issue. And like it might have been a forcing the issue of like, I'm done dealing with this shit if I'm just going to have to ride this out. So either extend me or I'm just done.
Yeah.
And like he may have forced the issue. And like honestly, I don't blame him if that's the case. Like I think like at this point in his career, he's made a lot of money. His contract is likely guaranteed through the end of next year.
Yep.
Like if I'm him and I'm looking at like how this org has worked in the past, where they just let people like linger until their contract finishes, like I might be like forcing the issue, like give me a 3-year extension because I don't want to do that, or or else. And they chose or else.
They called his bluff and said, "Get the fuck out of here! Clear out your fucking shit." Kenny, you're gone too. Kenny was just a bystander of this. Like Rick fucked you up. You're both out of here. That's it.
Yeah. And Kenny's probably like, "Fuck, I wasn't going to do anything the next few months anyway. So thanks for paying me to not. Just make it official."
Roger G in the comments says, "Why did JR let Hahn make deals and not fire him before that?" I think because that stuff was more functional and it kind of needed to be done regardless. So you could fire him and then have really kind of nobody to do that and not be able to harvest whatever value there was in the trade market there. Or you can leave him there and let him do it. Maybe you don't think he's the best guy, but instead of getting nothing, you're going to get something back. And actually, they did a decent job with the returns there. I mean, like, he's competent enough at that one skill, so that you allow him to do it, I guess. But like, it's better than leaving it unmasked and no one is doing the deals and you just lose out on the value. I think that's the bottom line there.
Yeah, I feel like the only one out of that's now upsetting is the Burger deal.
Yeah,
because you look at it and you go like, you didn't have to do that, and it leaves a bad taste. But the rest of it was like Jerry's asking him to get rid of expiring contracts that he doesn't want to pay for, right? Like, I get
easy
that.
enough.
Like, why would he want to pay the last of the money to Lance Lynn or to Giolito or to anyone else? And like, honestly, I think if we're looking at any additional silver linings here, like clearing out the top of that org reopens, like, what does it look like to re-sign, a guy like Lucas Giolito?
Right? For sure.
That becomes available again, which I don't think was going to be available to Hahn.
Yeah, you're going to get a new person with new ideas and someone who might be able to sell the chairman on some things. Like some of the problem, like everyone will complain about Jerry's cheapness and, Hahn's stuck in this box or whatever. But some of that job, that Kenny's job and Rick's job is to sell Jerry on, we need to do X, Y, and Z. And, the chairman is just the owner. So, like, yeah, you make a compelling argument. You make an argument on paper and numbers that make these things make sense. Maybe someone who's better at that could sell him at it and get him to pay for higher paid players. Like, make that work out. Like, those guys couldn't do it. Maybe the next person could do it. And truth be told, there may be an owner as well, a new owner as well.
Open facilities in the Caribbean. or spend more in the international draft instead of trading away all that shit.
Easy shit, right?
There's so many things that just someone coming in and going like, let's get back to like mediocre. Is such a huge step up.
Just be basic average GM. Yeah, you'll have a winner every once in a while, right? If they're not like
Cleo McDowell taking like the Dodgers handbook and like just ripping pages out of it and going, we can afford to do these things. Just do this.
I want to pull this comment up from Joe White Sox. He says, what I missed from the statement is that Kenny is like Jerry's son, but Rick is just a talented individual. LOL. It's funny, when I read the thing out loud with my wife, she's like, why does Jerry say that Kenny's like a son and nothing about Rick? Because I'm like, I think it's because Kenny grew up there. He played ball there. Then he came all the way up through the ranks in the scouting or whatever. So he's been with Jerry like almost his whole life, you know? So like, I think it's more of that than, Rick Hahn getting a job because of a favor of his dad knew Jerry and it was like kind of a nepotism thing. Like that's not your son. That's your friend's son is getting a job from you kind of thing. It's Rick a little different.
Rick never sat on Jerry's knee while he smoked a stogie, like Kenny had to. That was one of the hazing things they did back in the day, for the new scouts. You had to go sit on Jerry's lap and smoke a stogie with him.
Jared puts in the comments, let's get back to mediocre 2024 White Sox. That's a great slogan. I love that slogan. Let's do it. I'm game for that shit.
I'm in. I'll be in the seats every game for getting back to mediocrity. I know we got to end this soon because we got to get drunk at the game instead of getting drunk here.
Yep.
Especially $5 beers tonight. I mean,
fucking right.
Beers.
What a great way to celebrate.
I might die.
But here's my question to you guys, and you could answer it however you want, serious or funny. I know Kenny's probably just going to retire at this point, which is great. I mean, right off into the sunset. Kenny, you gave us a World Series. I don't give a shit. Like I still love Kenny overall, right?
Yeah.
Rick Hahn, next job for Rick Hahn. MSS, you go first.
Man. He's a Michigan Northwestern guy, right? He's got both. He's got the Big Ten like written all over him. Like he could probably end up in the Big Ten doing some deals, doing something. I'm gonna say he moves into college athletics at some juncture. That's what I would probably see for him. I don't think he's gonna be back in MLB baseball, but I could be totally wrong. I didn't think he'd get fired either. So who knows? I mean, I don't really know much. I'm gonna bet. I would bet on going back into college sports athletics.
Beef, what do you think?
Treasy, I'll say special assistant to the GM on the north side of town. I say he gets hired by the Cubs.
He's just writing the contracts up.
Yeah, exactly. Just real specialized work that he can handle. Lawyer stuff, basically, right? The lawyer portions of whatever you're doing in the front office. And I bet that's what he's going to do. I assume that he won't do it for a little while. I assume he'll take a little time off. It's probably stressful to be a general manager. But he'll hop back in. I think he'll be in baseball. But I like MSS's idea because I had heard him on an interview before say that he would love to be involved in college baseball. So maybe he goes to some organization, to some university in the Big Ten and just heads the program or is the athletic director or something like that. So who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be like if we looked at his LinkedIn in a couple months, it's going to say something like professional baseball consultant or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just, actually he's just going to be trying to hit 10-team parlays on DraftKings. That's what it's going to be.
Man, this opens him up to be able to
the baseball version
of
day trading. I'm sorry, what was that, Amasa?
I think he can come hang out in the 1-way with us now too. Like he can come get blasted with us. He's like, let me tell you about what happened.
I mean, I would love it. I would love to
sit
down with him for like an hour, just get hammered off the record.
Totally off the record. Yes.
Just have him unload on us. Like and also talk shit to us about like, you guys thought this? Well, here's what was really happening, you pieces of shit cesspool motherfuckers.
You think he only has one kid out of wedlock? Well, let me show you some other pictures.
Exactly.
Drake LaRoche. You know what he used to do in the dugout?
That guy
the media wouldn't tell you.
That guy got a handy and a suite from one of the nicest old ladies that works up here. It's real religious. Let's go to scripture.
That seems like a good place to end it.
I think so.
I have capped. I've peaked.
All right, everyone. We'll see you on Thursday. We're going to be back. We'll do the podcast. We'll probably talk a little bit about this and some other shit. So we'll see you on Thursday night.
All right, I'll roll the outro, buddy.
Laters.